days ago, they want to fire Mike Brown and trade everybody. Now they're going to the finals.
126-97 is the
no response to that, Kenneth?
Rebounds 48-27, points in the paint 60-42, and they're 19-0 when they hold teams under 100.
I still think that's a 7-game series. I'm not going to lie.
I agree. Say it again, Chuck.
I think that's a 7-game series.
Hey, let's hear from the participants. Some yakety yak, if you will.
We got come in here and we got smashed tonight, but we still got a chance. It's 3-2. We're going home to protect our home court. We got to be better. We got to come out. We got to be more physical. We got to play harder. They came in and just manhandled us. So we're gonna have to really changing things around if we want to get Game 6.
It's like a chess match. If someone makes a move, and you got to make another move. You got to wait to see what they're going to do. The way we prepare, we got to be ready for anything. And but most importantly, just understand to know we have to be good at what we're good at. I think that's the most important. But we got to prepare for anything.
Are you ready for that amazing stat that you won't believe that I teased going to break?
It's about what team? I'm listening.
It's about the New York Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah. First time in their playoff history, and they're one of the original teams. First time in their playoff history, they've won back-to-back games by 15 or more points.
That's an amazing stat.
First time in
and they won back-to-back championships, and then they had Patrick Ewing era. I mean, they're not. That's an incredible stat.
Yes, I'm glad you appreciated that one.
You know, Ernie. Going back to these last 2 games, I don't know what the Hawks were thinking. Like, the Knicks, the last 2 games, played like they're playing for their season, like with energy coming out the first quarter. And, like, I gave the Hawks a pass because they were up 2-1. They'd never been in that situation where they were in desperation like the Knicks were in Game 4. I'm not sure what they thought Game 5 was going to be going back to New York. Like, guys, you got to play with great energy. Even if you screw up, you can't be passive. I want you to be over-aggressive. But they're playing like a team that's never – and I know, like I say, CJ's been there before. But those young guys, man, you don't keep getting a pass. The playoffs are desperation. 1 or 2 games, the season's over. And – I have not seen that from the Hawks the last 2 games, and that's been very disappointing. They've had a great year.
My favorite Hawks player didn't play bad tonight, 7 out of 15, Jalen Johnson, but he hasn't really had a great game. I need him to have 1 or 2 great games. CJ didn't play well tonight. I'm with you, Chuck. I think this will go 7. They're going to come back here. Atlanta's going to be fired up, and the Hawks will be alive.
What gives you the impression, after the way they've been manhandled in the last 2 games, that they are up to sending this back to New York?
I mean, Chuck hit it right on the head. They're not playing with a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And listen, the old TNT slogan, you either win or go home. So they have to get this game. It's a must-win for them. It's simple, a lot of energy. And again, Jalen Johnson has to have an unbelievable great game. 7 for 15, 18 points is not enough.
Jed, is it going 7?
If it going the way it is, no. I would say no.
Absolutely.
I don't think that you turn on switches. And
why not?
I just don't believe you turn them on. They're either on or they're off in the playoffs. And I don't know if you can turn on a switch.
It's called adjustments.
But the one thing that you can turn on when you say effort, what I don't see is the same defensive effort that they had in the first. Like we have a saying, lose yourself on the defensive end, and you'll find yourself on offense. And I think that's what Jalen Johnson should do. He should lose himself on the.
I like that. He doesn't.
Because he didn't have to lose himself. He was always found on the offensive end. We always knew where he was offensively. So, but he doesn't. No, he needs to really lose himself defensively, and he and Daniels. That is their calling cards, and they haven't really made that a calling card as well in this series.
Ernie, when you're a young team, the playoffs is a shock to your system. Because, like, when you play in the NBA, when you're playing game 25, it's in December. Like, we got 26, 27, 28. When you're in the playoffs, the next game could be their last game. And the Knicks, the way they came out in Game 4, they're like, no, we can't go down 3-1. We got to come out like gangbusters. And they came out like gangbusters, but they did it again. Like, I gave them a pass for Game 4. But to come out the next game like it's 2-2, and then to come out and just end up being on your heels, getting punched in the mouth the entire game, because they never had a chance after the first quarter today.
126-97 is your final score. It is a 3-2 lead for the Knicks as they go to Atlanta Thursday night for Game 6. We'll be back to wrap it up on Inside in just a second.
Underdog.
We do have some fishing to do. And,
as backup center, whatever you want to call it. A couple Gotham lobs to Mitchell Robinson brought the roof down at MSG. These three guys just locked in, played great basketball, and you know Deuce McBride's always going to give you good minutes off the bench, which he also did.
Got to mention Alvarado. That's a career playoff high for him.
And what I loved about when he came in the game, his minutes when he comes in for Jalen Brunson is he's got to be aggressive. You know, like he's got, if he sees the rim, he's got to attack. I loved a couple of instances in the first half. He had Kispert on him. And instead of like reversing the ball and resetting, he looked and he went, "No, I can get this." And he got buckets.
Went right at Kispert twice.
Right at him. Right. He let him know, like, no. There's no chance you can keep me in front of you. And that's what I think. That's what you would want as a coach.
Yeah.
Like you have a matchup, take it, burn it, go ahead, get after him. And he showed great confidence. The key to this game also was a lot of the guys that came off the bench did not show any hesitation whatsoever. You need that. Come in.
Alvarado also hit a couple of threes.
Yes.
And he's not always been great, but he's been better lately from downtown, right? Yep. So really impressive, Wally, up and down the lineup. And, you know, you guys are talking about Mike Brown changing the rotation. We saw Mitchell Robinson and Cat together a lot tonight, more so than I think we've seen the entire series.
Well, that's the versatility that this roster has.
Right.
This roster can play a lot of different ways, and they can cause the opponent a lot of problems. As long as everyone that's out there on the floor is playing at a high level. That's the bottom line. You can't just walk out on an NBA floor and expect because you're Mitchell Robinson or you're Karl Anthony Towns that you're going to have success. You got to go out there and make it happen. You got to go out there and play defense the way Cat's been playing in this series. He's been playing some of the best defense we've seen him play in a New York Knicks uniform. And then Mitchell Robinson, too, when he gets into a home court environment, the crowd just loves his energy, loves what he brings to the table. And it seems like his adrenaline level goes up a notch. He jumps higher on those rebounds, higher on those lobs, and he just really feeds off the crowd. And this bench was outstanding in continuing to build on that lead.
What about the defense, guys?
Yeah.
Much like
That's the story.
Game 4.
That is the story of the series
Hawks
now.
couldn't breathe in the first half.
No. And look, 6 steals, 6 blocks, 40 defensive rebounds, allowing just 5 offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounding when you're not shooting the ball well, like the Hawks were not shooting the ball well, you get all those defensive rebounds. It's demoralizing. They aren't getting second chances. I think the turnover factor was not as much of a big deal in this game for the Hawks as it was in Game 4, but that didn't matter because of the way the Knicks were not allowing them to get second chances. And I think that's really part of it. That and the fact that they took the paint away in the first half.
No transition for them either.
Well, when you're making buckets, they can't go in transition on you. You're not turning the ball over either. The Knicks kept the turnovers low in this game, so you're not giving those up. But I feel like they took the paint away and forced the Hawks to continue to stay on the perimeter. And those threes, we said this in the pregame, the three-point shooting to watch. This was a good three-point shooting team during the regular season, 37%. They have not been able to knock down those threes in this series because the Knicks are taking away their ability to get into rhythm on them.
No, the Knicks defense has been locked in, and C.J. McCollum, you know, didn't have one of those superhero type efforts.
He looked tired.
And you could tell he did.
He looked tired.
He looked old. And you could tell that when he is not rolling at that high level, he was playing at some level for the first 4 games of this series.
Especially Game 2.
Yeah, for the first 4 games of this series, then this team really falls off big time because he's like their kind of beacon and their barometer type leader and their guy that they look to for big shots and big plays. And when he misses shots, you can see the rest of the team, it really affects them.
More turnovers than made field.
Yeah, McCollum, 3 out of 10, 4 turnovers, 6 points. Yeah. That's it. Monica McNutt across the street joins us. She helped call the game, as always, on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, what stands out to you after this win tonight?
I think the energy on both sides of the ball, guys. It is human nature as a hooper sometimes if it's rolling offensively, maybe it's not as sharp as it should be defensively, but I thought the Knicks did an outstanding job of bringing the energy and the intensity on both sides of the basketball from the jump tonight. And even through that little bit of a lull in the third quarter, overall, again, learning from Game 2's mistakes, right? Not relinquishing any of the lead going into that fourth quarter. Really, really balanced performance from this group. I thought it was impressive and very focused.
You know, and Monica, what we were wondering is what are the adjustments going to be with Karl Anthony Towns at the hub of the offense and some of the side screens that they have going on around him. And it looked like the Hawks were trying to blow it up at times. And what happened was it turned into multiple options because of the way the Hawks were defending, and then it turned into, like you said, scramble. It's almost like at one point in the game, they didn't know where to go because there were so many options off that play.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
You're absolutely right, Hon. Actually, I think I called that out to Tyler. I can't get the name of this play so we can know. But the one play where you get the sort of the screener, we saw options off that play for obviously OG Anunoby slipping. Jalen Brunson came clean one time. I think Jordan Clarkson might have got a clean look off of that one as well. Just in terms of the different reads that you can make off of the one play. The one thing, too, though, to that end, I thought tonight you saw what we've talked about in terms of dictating the pace. That doesn't mean it has to be slow and plodding, but it's long enough in your half-court set to be deliberate about what you're doing. Setting screens and making legitimate contact, cutting off of them hard, like executing and making the Hawks have to defend a possession and all of its options until you find the soft spot.
Monica, Jalen Brunson cracked the code of Dyson Daniels and the Hawks. How did he do it?
I mean, Wally, isn't it so great to see an efficient line from him? 15 of 23 is unreal. And this is, honestly, guys, at this point, we've had 4 years of postseason with Jalen Brunson. It's sort of a familiar cadence where he starts off a little sluggish, give him some time to get some tape, you know, really see what defenses are trying to do to him. And he might not show up at the front, but when you need him, he's going to show up and tell you exactly what you said, Wally, or demonstrate, rather, instead of tell, how he has been able to pick apart defenses. So to me, in this one, he just leans into the physicality at this point. It obviously helps that he's got his three ball going as well, knocked down a couple of those. But I think him leaning into the physicality, attacking off of his first step, right, as opposed to like dancing with the rock, getting out ahead and getting his hip by defenders a few times, no matter